Alright guys, just gonna give my quick thoughts on the Thursday matches. As you know, this could only be a 15-minute video, but if you guys subscribe and help me get to 1K, I could do longer post-match analyses. Otherwise, have to condense it all or just do them all separately. But we're gonna run through Thursday matches pretty quick. I did not see the first two matches, as I said, because I was at work, but I went back and caught some highlights, and I'll just give my quick thoughts on it. So in my pick'ems, I put subliners to beat Rocker, but I literally said in the back of my head, you never know how these fucking tourney matches go, like the first matches of the tourney, and I just had a strange feeling, but I didn't want to go with it, that Rocker could like beat subliners, because subliners may have won the major, but they're not like some unbeatable team. They're still a beatable team. They just won a major. That's it. I just had a feeling, but like I didn't go with it. I was just like going with the safe pick, but we shouldn't be playing safe these days. And NYSL was able to Neslo subliners, and the main talking points about this are Bats went huge for his team. He was the only one overall in this series to go positive on his team. He had like a 1.27. Next person was like 0.96. Everyone else was below that. Just played very well today. I mean, hopefully he's able to keep that up. Hopefully his teammates could help him in the match against Optic, which I think they're going to lose, but we'll get to that later. But they're able to, okay, and also I'll get to my other talking point later, but yeah, so they're able to nuzzle them, take the 2-3-5, which I assumed is probably the only way they're going to win. I didn't think they're going to beat them at a hard point, which they did not. But yeah, I think it's pretty unanimous at this point that Hydra is like the best player in the game. Like, I've never seen him have I mean, I have, but like most of the time, 90 to 95% of the time, he does not have a bad hardpoint game in him, and he just overperforms all the time in every series. He was the only one, and I think the other one was Kismet. I'll have to go look. We're going to look at that after. I went positive on his team overall KD for the series, but not really much to break down because I didn't watch the series, so I don't have much analysis. Not going to watch it back because there's so many matches left to come. So it was just one of those series that could have went either way. I'm pretty sure NYSL trolled a game or two. I'm pretty sure they trolled a game or two. I think they could have won the S&D, which is what I heard. I didn't watch the full highlights of that, but yeah, those are my quick thoughts on that series. We don't even need to go on that. We're gonna go next to the Boston series here. Everyone predicted FaZe would win. Some people probably thought it'd be more dominant than this, but as you know, like that first match on LAN, that first match of a tournament could really get you. And yeah, I'm not surprised FaZe lost the first map because, number one, it's Fortress. This map needs to go, should not be played in any of the 3 game modes. You're telling me I have to go through all the maps in this game again? You're telling me none of the other maps are better than Fortress? Why was this map chosen out of every single map? This map should not be played on anything, even S&D. It's not really a good S&D map. It's so weird the way offense and defense are. I really think they're backwards, but like they're not backwards. It's just like so weird in every single game mode. And also Boston had the power of the Boston fans on their side, so they were able to beat FaZe's first map. I guarantee if I watch this, FaZe probably trolled a bunch of shit that could have led to them maybe winning the map, but we know FaZe troll a lot all the time, and Boston decided to square up on them on their best S&D map, which makes no sense to me. Really makes no sense to me at all. Like, you guys are brave. I mean, I know you got the power of like the land and everything, but geez, as you can see, this clearly was not close. I think they beat him 6-2 actually. Yeah, every S&D map in the game, why play him on that? BZ always performs on that map. He loves that map. The First Blood King, I'm pretty sure he had a lot of First Bloods. Let's see how many First Bloods. 4 First Bloods from a BZ, just always that entry man on his team all the time. So that's that. And then FaZe trolled the Control. They had a 2-0 lead on El Asilo, and they came back on. Um, this is partially the reason why I don't think FaZe is going to win this major. They're just too shaky, and I'm on FaZe's side 100%. They're my team, but this game, the way this game is with just the diminished skill gap and everything, it almost like evens the playing field. Like you remember the last game that had like some sort of a skill gap, didn't have tax sprint, had dead silence, was Cold War, and they were the undisputed dominant team with Toronto Ultra in that game. So I think that kind of tells you like the games that have a skill gap were the games that they were the most dominant in. But that's besides the point. So they came back on that map, and then they just fry them like the fourth and fifth map. They 6-0'd them in that S&D. I'm going to have to watch that S&D back in my own time because, damn, I'm really going to have to watch that back, actually. Really going to have to watch that back. But Stallion was 22-7, literally having a day. Nero being the SMG player, it's either you have a good game or you get put in the blender. That's kind of the life of an SMG. But I mean, I say that, but then I look at people like Hydra who are just always performing, even when they're losing and they're going negative. They're only going negative like 1-2. They're not like getting just body slammed on. But FaZe dominate this map, and usually if you're facing another good team on this map, it should be a lot closer. Like I watch 8s a lot on this map, and they're always close. Granted, that's 8s, not with your team, but they blew them away on this map. Like, geez, the SMGs stood no chance. FaZe dominated that one, and then the 6-0. I'm just gonna go to the final scoreboard. I'll watch it. I'll watch it back on my own time, but. Like, apparently there's a speed run. Apparently there's like pubs, but Simp didn't really have to do much. Slasher did his thing. He really loves Elo. It's probably because it's like a pick heavy map, and Slasher's like a pick heavy person, so it benefits him very much. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do analysis on the turning point maps of like this series, like if you know what I mean, like. Every series, like there's no point in doing analysis on all 5 maps because some maps just don't need analysis, and no one needs to see 5 videos of analysis unless you guys want to, because I could bring that like hard, but I'm trying to speed run. And this map I was talking about, I had a live reaction to it, but I trolled on my mic and my mic was quiet. But Toronto Ultra literally dominated LAG on this map. In the scoreboard, it might look like was kind of close, even though it wasn't close even in the scoreboard, but like they were kind of keeping around like the 40 points. I think they won by like more than that, but Assault was just in the blender, and I was talking about it. I was like, is this guy not warmed up? He has to not be warmed up, or it's just like first game jitters, just get pissed on the first game, get that out of the way, and like progressively do better. But whatever it was, he was not shooting back. And I remember there's a point in this game where like it just went on him. I think it was one like he didn't have a kill, where he was like 0-10 and they're on him and he died, and he just like demoralized. Like it looked like he wasn't even like reacting. Like it looked like he was just holding his controller and just going like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for this map to end. But Ultra beat them on literally almost every single rotation. Granted, like half the hills they beat them to rotation, like they'd end up holding, but they beat them to the initial rotation on almost every hill, which shouldn't be happening. But they are outslaying them, outplaying them. Scrap had his way this whole series. Literally dropped a 1.7, like literally playing pubs in a pro tournament on LAN. And like you said, it's not a rivalry, bro. It's not a rivalry, because they're just not competition to him. And he was literally in a playground this whole entire series, literally just flying around, doing his thing. You see him talking shit. That's the final scoreboard of that. Assault was able to get some kills, try to maintain some dignity. I was more confused because there's a point in time he was like 4-24 and he had like 0 seconds of hill time. And I was like, okay, you're literally like just participating. You're not even contributing to your team's efforts whatsoever. So I'm like, you got to do something about that. But yeah, they were able to beat him 3-1. LAG is able to take the control. It should have been a 3-0. I'll actually just skip to the control because like the S&D was pretty much classic. It ended 6-4, but like Mercado's a map where like even if it ends like 6-4, there's still like one team that you knew was going to win no matter what. You know, it's like that kind of feeling. And Ultra was that team. Kleenex had his way on that map. He was pushing them out all the time, like literally showed no respect to them whatsoever. Like he literally looked like he was like shooting bots in a firing range. Like the way he was chowing when like he's not even like focused on them or has no centering. He was just doing all kinds of just ego chows. But we're gonna skip to the last round of this. I'm pretty sure the reason why Ultra lost this is because they just got overconfident. They could have just played a basic defense and just slayed them and won like they won all the other defenses. But I think they were playing overconfident because they were just like pissing on these kids the whole entire time. So they're kind of just showing them a little bit too lack of a respect. So I think that played a part because they just drained their lives because I think they're just challenging everything, weren't playing their lives enough, weren't like playing respectable enough to just close the game out. They were just trying to like almost like embarrass them, and it cost them. It got really close because you basically have to win an offense on this map by either just heavily outslaying, playing massive TDM, but also being mindful of the clock, obviously, or you literally just have to have them in a spawn trap, which is also pretty hard to do. Kind of not at the same time, though, but defense is just so favored on this map. Like, favored not only because, like, obviously, like, you spawn and you're closer to it, but, just the way it is, the way you spawn up, you can just throw nades, and the way you could chow, like, just everything benefits defense on the side. You really have to play perfect in order to win an offense control on Fortress, so... they trolled that. Scraps still did his thing, almost 4k damage. Kleenex was doing his thing as well, just always in there. And then I already knew it was going to be over, no matter what Marky B is saying to that team. It was just not even close. 230 to 108. Scrap was challenging shit that I saw him do some dirty things on this map, but he just had no respect. And Joe Deceives, the man talking shit to him, and 17 and 28 overall KDs on these series. I'm going to go and look at that because we're almost at the 15-minute mark, which means it's gonna have to be a 2-part video. Jeez Louise. But you see Scrap hype, not really that hype because he's like, these guys are on a rivalry. RC is wondering where he went wrong once again. He's wondering if he should have kept his old team, which he probably would have had a better chance with, not going to lie. Yeah, I just feel like LAG, this goes back to what I was saying the other day. For the most part with like the top teams, like you could say the top teams are the top teams even on the online major qualifiers, but like for a lot of the things you should just chalk it and just like say it doesn't mean anything, because this game could go so different on LAN. I talked about it with NYSL. They're getting body slammed in the Major 1 qualifier matches, but then they got to the tournament. They're a whole different team on LAN, and LAG dominated online. Hardpoint were not losing any until they lost to Ultra. And then they came here and lost both hardpoints pretty significantly. Like no like actual competition. Looked like they weren't even fighting back. Like that's how bad it was. So it could be a lot of an online thing for a lot of teams, and I'm really still an advocate of like somehow them putting all these major qualifier matches on LAN, but that probably would never work. But I just feel like over the years, Vanguard and even like the MW 2019, if everything was played on LAN, I feel like we'd have a completely different trajectory on like everything. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, we're gonna do a part 2 of this real quick.